I've been looking forward to this conversation here at VOICE22 in Washington, D.C., because I'm a big fan of Sapient. Emily Troutner on your team, I was just telling you, I think over the last 2+ years, she sent me dozens of texts, emails, social media posts, like, look what we're doing now, and check this out. Have you seen this new thing? And are you going to be at this? And every time she does, I'm like, oh, wow, look at that. Look at this new development. But not everybody knows about your company. So can you please introduce yourself to me and tell me a bit about how did you get the company started, which it's been around for a couple of decades, and then we'll kind of talk a bit about what you're working on today.
You bet. Well, first of all, our company is SapientX. It was founded 6 years ago, but on top of work that our earlier company, Planet 9, had begun way back in 1995.
That's right.
And that's when we first began making talking conversational characters online, but they weren't AI powered. It was only later that we were doing research for the government in 2003 that they wanted us to work with AI companies to add a voice and intelligence to characters. Back then it was to look for bad guys on the internet, but we loved the idea that you could converse with your technology.
Yeah.
So a few years later, in 2008, we were building navigation systems for the auto industry, and we thought it was natural in a car to have a voice assistant that could perform key tasks for you, so you never had to take your hand off of the wheel.
Right.
So I brought my old friend Bruce Wilcox on board. He ended up becoming my co-founder of SapientX. And Bruce had headed AI at a number of big game companies. He's a very practical man, but also an out-of-the-box thinker. Back then, voice systems were all keyword-driven. If you happen to say Apple, something might happen. If you say peach, something else would happen.
Right.
But Bruce's idea was that if you could speak conversationally like you were talking to a good friend,
yes,
and you did a good job of it, people would never have to learn computer commands.
Yeah.
If you think about it, Siri and Alexa are good products. People use them every day, but you have to learn how to use them. You have to say things just right for them to work for you. So we wanted to go to a different level of being able to discard commands and just be able to tell your technology what you wanted.
Right.
A funny side benefit of this is once a system becomes conversational, people start, not everybody, but a lot of people start treating it like a friend and talking to it conversationally. Right. So we find that 40% of all conversation is just chit chat.
Right.
Not, I need something, but how's it going? How are you today?
Yes.
Good to see you.
What do you think that plays into the whole idea of man talking to things and things talking to man, and it becoming friendly and it becoming warm? Where's that at today, and how far do you think humanity will take that? And it almost can feel like a connection or an intimacy in a sense. So where are we at, and where might we be going with this?
Well, so voice technology for me goes way back. Seeing Walt Disney on TV when I was a little kid, bringing out Lincoln that could talk to you. Well, it was a one-way conversation. It was like a wind-up toy that would just talk and talk and talk. But that sort of planted the seed, the notion that it was possible to talk to your technology. Now, where we are today, there's 4 key things in the technology stack that we use to make technology talk. First thing is the avatars. The avatars today are beautiful. We're doing a really good job with the avatars. We're maybe at 90% lifelike.
Right.
Many of my friends that I show our avatars to, they go, that's not a real human? Okay, so that's pretty good. The second thing is the synthetic voice.
Yes.
Maybe you saw the stuff last year that Google put out. It was wonderful. What they didn't tell everybody was it was running on a supercomputer, but in time, that will find its way onto your mobile phone.
That's right.
So maybe in synthetic voice, we're at 90%.
Yes.
Conversationally, we're doing better and better each year.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly we're at 70%, maybe 60%.
Right.
The toughest thing, it turns out, is to get the animation right. There's a lot of nuances that I'm expressing as I'm talking to you right now. And whether you know it or not, your brain is processing all of that subliminally, and it's part of our conversation.
Right.
It's the unspoken part of our conversation. And if we screw that up in a synthetic character, you know it, and I know it.
Yes.
It's not good. We're maybe at 10%. We're just at the beginning of making really well animated characters. So that's something our team's working hard on. We've got a lot of work to do, but we're busy working on it right now.
Are there companies right now in that regard that are inspirational to you? So for instance, Jensen has tried to do some advanced things at NVIDIA. Zuckerberg's trying to do some advanced things with the Oculus Quest at Meta. There's a bunch of independent companies like SapientX that are really going after this. When you look at the field of competitors and peers and collaborators, what do you see that you're excited about that's out there right now?
So I had mentioned Disney as being an early inspiration. Then later, one of our team members came from Pixar. Martin Reddy was heading up tool development there, and he was part of our team back in 2008. We took a lot of inspiration from the Pixar team. Martin would invite me over, and I'd see the wonderful sketches being developed of Nemo and things like that at the time. Yeah. That inspired me. So later, and this is 5 years ago, we brought Alex Hessler out of Pixar. He headed up our high-resolution character work. Now, Alex had actually worked on the Avatar movie. He'd worked on Harry Potter movies and things like that. And he brought a movie sensibility to the notion of developing a really wonderful character that you could engage with.
Yeah.
So that became the foundation that we have been building on for the last 5 years to make, hopefully, you would agree, wonderful avatars that people can relate to.
Yes. That's
what inspires us.
Yeah, with your avatars, I think that is the one thing that I see as the biggest challenge. You mentioned it. It's the feeling that the facial element is, especially the mouth and whatnot, is real, or at least like what we're used to seeing. So as you look to accomplish these goals, talk to me about the need for a great team. Right, you've been a CEO for a long time. You know how to build great teams. You have a great team, but you always are looking for brilliant talent. So what does it take to attract brilliant people? Are you looking for specific skill sets right now that might be out here watching our conversation at some point? Give me an idea about team development.
Well, so part of what makes what we do so hard is it takes people from all different kinds of disciplines. You need to have artists and engineers that work wonderfully together. You need to have people that come from computational linguistics backgrounds, right, computer animation, voice actors, all these writers who write compelling content. And it takes, it's a little bit like conducting an orchestra of talented people.
Right.
If you have a wonderful vision that you express and you can deliver on, the talented people find you.
Yes, they do.
We've never hired a recruiter ever because our best people come to us.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. As far as people following up, I know that you had a big announcement at CES this last year. CES is coming up. Any big developments that SapientX is been announcing recently or is looking forward to that people should be anticipating something?
Well, it's a fun period in our history because we've been hard at work and not showing people for 5 years now what we're doing. Right. So at CES, it was the first time that we had Sage, one of our characters, interacting with people. We also were at the game show, the AWE show, in this past summer, and this was the first time we actually made a character for a customer that was used in a public venue to give directions, to tell you who was speaking at what time, tell you where the bathroom was, tell you what kind of food was good that was being served at the show. And we hired a wonderful writer, Sue Wilcox, to write Xander, who was from South London. He's a music DJ, and he's also here to help you with the show. Right. But making a character that people can relate to and have fun with, engaging with, I think was part of Xander's success, and we want to build on that.
Yeah.
Now we're finding all different venues for Xander's brothers and sisters to go to. So whether it's at a hospital, in an auto showroom, at Lowe's, or or even we're making a system right now called Anna for the Edmonton airport to help you find your flight or tell you where your lost baggage is or whatever. There's a lot of very wonderful uses that these characters can serve, and they can do it 24 hours a day.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Well, before we wrap, what's it like being here at VOICE22 with 1,000 people that are all building this industry? We're so glad to have SapientX be a part of it, but not everybody joined us. So tell me, why is it valuable to be here for you and your company, and why should others consider joining us in the future?
Well, first of all, I love being back in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
It was my home away from home for years and years. I haven't been traveling much in the past couple of years because of the COVID stuff, so it's good to be out of the house. But it's also good to be surrounded by brothers and sisters who are hard at work building technologies and working with customers in voice systems.
Yeah.
And it's always great to come to this show, and we look forward to the next one.
Yeah, well, we do as well.
Thank
So
you.
glad that you came to sit down.
Thank
and
you
have a
so much.
conversation with me. Absolutely.
It was great.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, anybody that's watching, thanks for your attention. My name's Ian Utile. I'm the CEO at Attention Live. We'll be back again with more of these fireside chats here at VOICE22 in Washington, D.C. And until then, have a happy day.